regular session at 7:02 p.m. Should I get a roll call, please, Ms. Johnson?
Trustee Walker.
Present.
Trustee Gallegos.
Here.
Trustee Tejada. Here. Vice President Salahuddin. Here. President Lee.
Here. All right, item 8, approval of the agenda. Are there any changes to the agenda this evening, Ms. Presta?
There are no changes.
Can I get a motion to approve the agenda?
So moved. Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Item 9A, approval of the minutes for the board meeting of September 19th, 2023.
Motion to approve board meeting minutes September 19th, 2023.
Second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
Nothing to report out of closed session this evening. So we will go to item 11, the installation of student trustees. Superintendent Presta, would you like to kick us off?
I am very, very pleased to kick us off. So I'd like to introduce to you the Student Advisory Council, the student trustees for the 23-24 school year. Please stand. Perfect timing, Dante. You're all good. One of our co-presidents, Juliana, said that she was going to be a little bit late, and I realize we are just really not giving her any time. She's going to be a little bit late, so we will have to swear her in afterward, but she will be here. So we talked about how this will go. I'm going to tell you what to say. You're going to raise your right hand and repeat after me, please. I state your name. Do solemnly swear or affirm that I will support and defend the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California against all enemies, foreign and domestic. That I will bear true faith and allegiance to the Constitution of the United States and the Constitution of the State of California. That I will take this obligation freely without any mental reservation or purpose of evasion, and that I will well and faithfully discharge the duties upon which I am about to enter. Well done.
Congratulations, and I'll open it up to the board for any comments, and then we will adjourn to the student trustee reception. You guys want to say anything?
I just want to say it's awesome to see such a big representation, especially from each school. It's grown a little bit from last year. I worked with a lot of you guys last year, and I'm looking forward to working with you guys again this year. But you keep representing your schools, keep putting your voices out there. You guys got to be heard, so keep up the good work.
Thank you for what's the word I'm looking for? Thank you for participating, for choosing to be with us. I always say there's a lot more energy in the room when there are students here. So thanks for bringing that energy. I'm looking forward to a great year. Congratulations.
So I have the privilege of working with a student advisory council, and I'm so excited to have some, like Mr. Walker said, have so much energy in this room and for the future of, our district, because student voice is super important to us. And since last night, I see we have 2 more student trustees from Jefferson. So excited. Now we have 4 trustees from Jefferson. And we have so much participation from every school. Would love to have some students from Thornton. And that's where we would really love to have, and we will do a better job of recruiting.
Hello, my name is Kalima Sahadeen. I've been on the board for 10 years. I used to be on the subcommittee to work with the student trustees, but have now moved on, move around, so we all get experience with different things. But I will say that I've worked with Trustee Tejada for a while on this program, and it means a whole lot to me because I haven't been in school in a very long time. My kids graduated from the district a long time ago. And so I want to make informed decisions, and it doesn't make any sense to make decisions on your behalf without hearing from you and having your input. It's extremely important to me as a representative of the broader community and about education to be informed by that community. And so that's the call that I put to you, is that you bring your unique experience, but it's your unique experience, and to really reach out to the students in your district, in your school. I'm used to having to say district, but your school. Talk to the students in your school, especially students that aren't normally represented and aren't normally in leadership roles in your school, to hear what their stories, and if there's anything that you can do to better represent them here as well, as long as yourselves. I want to thank you because it is a time commitment. And so thank you for giving up the time to do this fantastic work. And I will say, you know, for when the students that start to participate in the meetings, it can be intimidating. I remember my first meeting, it went by super fast and I was like, what just happened? But don't let that daunt you. Please speak up in these meetings, ask the questions. A lot of times you may think it's not a good question. It's a question that we haven't thought of because we're not students. It may be a question. We have a lot of people that watch from home, and that reminded me to slow down because this is translated. We have a lot of people that watch from home, and you may be asking a question that someone that's watching may be thinking of. You may also have a perspective that none of us have thought about because we're not walking the halls every single day. So please, when you're here, don't be afraid to ask the questions and give comments and give feedback. You usually are the most listened to voices in the room. So again, thank you so much for your service, and I look forward to working with you.
I'm very excited to have you all here, and I echo my colleagues' comments about the excitement we all share and how we're looking forward to hearing from each and every one of you. Don't be shy, and looking forward to working with all of you. So now we will adjourn to the reception. 7:10 or 20, sorry. All right, sorry, my bad.
Whatever, President Lee. Working with you guys just in the last couple of months. And I just want to tell everybody, I'm very impressed with this group of students. They already have their goals set. They have their committee set for the year. And I feel quite certain that you are going to do a lot of good work. And I'm just very pleased that I get to spend every other Monday night with you.
She's serious.
So thank you.
She says that when she's not around you.
That's very true.
Oh, I do say it when I'm not. I do. Yeah. I was like, wait a minute. Are you disagreeing? No. I say you guys are my favorite part of the job. So really, really happy that you're here.
Yes.
Thank you.
Dante,
And I think we want to
how's that burrito?
take a
Oh, we
photo.
should do a group. Let's do a group photo right here before we head out. So let's do this. Let's.
Okay. All right.
The photo.
Do you want them here, Mr. Warden? Okay. I know, right? I know. I made the call. I made the call last night.
Oh, really?
Oh, are we going up there?
Yeah, you're gonna come over here and take a photo.
Oh, that's trash. Yeah, dude. It's gonna come now. I hate to say when.
All right.
It's a task. Yeah, I get it.
Yes.
Again, think of it as Instagram. That's the way you guys get. Right. Okay.
Can you see everybody?
You're looking at me first. That's the one going in Friday updates. Here we go. Ready? 1, 2, 3. All right. And then trustees, before you leave, we're going to take a group photo of you. Okay. Great. All right.
Are you saying after the reception, you're gonna?
I'm going to steal them off from the reception and take them.
Okay. And then the trustees who are going to, the student trustees who are going to stay for the meeting, then you want that.
Okay. Let's go next door for the party.
session at 7:26 p.m.
Before we get going, can the student trustees just introduce themselves so I can call you? I don't have to call you Westmore trustee.
Hi, I am Charlotte. I'm a junior at Westmore.
Okay.
Hi, my name is Summer and I'm a junior at Terra Nova.
Okay. Great, thank you. All right, so item 14A, recognitions and commendations, and we will do the October Student of the Month. Mr. Bashirs.
I think we need music.
We should.
Student of the month and a dun 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 dun.
You know that. President Lee, Board of Trustees, Executive Cabinet, Superintendent Presta. It is, as always, just a genuine pleasure. One of the evenings I look forward to the most in the fall is getting to present the Student of the Month for October. This year, we have Tony Marie Garland of the Jefferson Adult Transition Program. Congratulations to Tony Marie Garland, JUHSD Student of the Month for October. Tony Marie is a student at Jefferson Adult Transition Program. She joined ATP after completing high school at Westmore. Tony Marie has shown tremendous progress since joining us last year. I personally look forward every morning to seeing her because Tony Marie is a smile machine in the morning. Tony Marie enjoyed her work experience at Sprouts last year and is looking forward to working at Walgreens this year. While here at school, she reported to me that her favorite activity is dancing with her friends in the gym. Her favorite activities when not at school are listening to music and, well, and I must have a typo here, and painting her nails purple. Tony Marie, could you hold up your hands for today? We're sparkly blue today, not purple. Tony Marie hopes to continue her education at Skyline College when she graduates from ATP. Her teacher, Mr. Seth Krauthammer, has this to say about Tony Marie. Tony Marie arrives at school with a warm smile every day. She greets every teacher and student with fervor and warmth. Without exception, she is always a leader and a positive example for her peers. She faces her personal challenges head on with a positive attitude and always strives to meet and exceed her goals. She puts forth nothing less than her best effort and is an inspiration for others to do the same. In the 2 months that I have known Tony Marie, I've seen her make significant strides with her learning, language, and behavior. I look forward to seeing her continued growth and achievement throughout the year. I'm so very proud of Tony Marie for this award. She truly earned it. Transition specialist, Ms. Emily Hansen, joined Mr. Krauthammer in advocating for Tony Marie to receive this honor. She had this to say about Tony Marie. When Tony Marie joined ATP in the 22-23 school year, she was pretty shy and said very little, but one could tell she was watching and paying attention to everything. Tony Marie then started work-based learning at our local grocery store, Sprouts, which was a huge first step for her. Soon after, she started coming out of her shell. She began to verbally greet coworkers and showed great focus and attention to detail while facing merchandise on the shelves. By the end of the school year, she'd attended 25 of 26 work shifts. Her confidence was sky high, and she knew her way around the store. This year, Ms. Hansen reports, Tony Marie is even more engaged. She proactively greets others and is an enthusiastic participant in all activities. She wants to work at Walgreens this year and advance her skills in a new setting. She will also be attending a tour of Skyline College in November. I look so forward to watching Tony Marie achieve her goals, and I thank her for stepping into a leadership role at ATP. You were awesome, Tony Marie. I also want to thank her mother, Marites Garland, for sharing Tony Marie with us. And finally, Tony Marie, thank you for being such a positive force in this world. October Student of the Month, Tony Marie Garland. And those sparkly fingernails.
Yeah. And before we do that, any comments from the board, including student trustees, if you'd like to make any comments?
Congratulations. Yeah, congratulations as well.
And you know, she was Ram too.
Mm.
Show Ram pride. Definitely.
Thank you for coming tonight. Congratulations on your award. I think when we give this type of award, we want to say that we're really proud of what you have done, and we're expressing, so much hope for good things for your future as well. It sounds like you're well on your way. Come back and see us. That's what I say all the time. In a few years, they're going to be looking to replace board members. So come participate with us. Come say hello to us. It's good to see you. Thank you very much.
Congratulations, Tony. I know you've probably put a lot of hard work in to get up where you're at right there. So it's always nice to be, awarded for that and recognized. It's also cool to see, when people talk about your smile. So, if you could light up a room with your smile, that changes a lot of things. It also makes it one of those attributes that, a lot of people don't have. So keep smiling, keep working hard, and keep making, progress in your life and getting where you need to go. Congratulations.
Tony Marie, I knew you back in middle school at Ben Franklin. And your mom and I, Mary Tess and I, were on the PTSA together. And you came to every meeting. And we always looked forward to you leading the Pledge of Allegiance very forcefully and enthusiastically. So when I saw that you were the student of the month, I was so happy. And I told my daughter, Carly, one of your classmates, and she said for me to tell you hi, and she's very proud of you as well. And I think you're doing such a great job. I look forward to hearing more about everything you're doing. And you make us really proud in this school district. Thank you.
So to again say thank you, Tony Marie, and that we're very proud of you, and thank you for all of your hard work, because I know it's very hard work. And you've been doing a fantastic job, and I'm really excited to see what you do moving forward. That I know the struggle it is to move your kids forward and the love that you've been given to get her to this point. And I just want to thank you for all of the effort that you put into your daughter, and you can see it pay off. So thank you so much for being here tonight.
Thank you, Mr. Lee. So first, Tony Marie, my name is Tony Ann. So I'm very excited to honor another Tony. And I just want to say that numerous people have said how wonderful a person you are to have around. And I'm excited for what you have in store for you in the future. And I'm excited to see you out in the community when I go to Sprouts and Walgreens and do my shopping. And so good luck to you. And thank you for being here.
Congratulations, Tony Marie. We're very proud of you. Very excited for the work that you've done and all your accomplishments so far. And we are just so excited to see what you will do next. So let's go ahead and take some photos.
Okay.
You're official now.
All right. We will continue on with communications. Item 15A, the board report. We will start at the far end of the table with Trustee Simpson.
Yes, so at Terra Nova, we are currently starting off October with planning a new rally for the end of the month, as well as our breast cancer awareness games are starting. Our breast cancer awareness football game will be on October 19th, and we're hoping to pair with a donation drive that we can donate some proceeds to. And we also have been working with our Student Action Club and leadership to plan a SPCA drive, as well as multiple different drives in the making, such as Dream Boxes, which is going to be for a low-income elementary school in Daly City that we're putting together.
Hey. Trustee Singh.
So in Westward, our fall dance is coming out next Friday. And then also because October is not really like a big month, we are doing a lot of like, we're celebrating for like Filipino Heritage Month as well as LGBTQ History Month. There's also going to be National Coming Out Day celebrated next Wednesday in our school. And then there's also going to be a Hispanic Heritage Month this month and also a Halloween event at the end of the month.
Great, thank you. Trustee Walker.
I don't think I have anything to report this time.
Okay.
Well, let's see. I went to Fog Fest for the first time last weekend. Yeah, last weekend. I've been in Pacifica. Well, I've been living there almost 5 years now, and for some reason I'm always gone. And I was actually supposed to be gone that weekend as well, but some things came up, so we were able to stick around and bumped into Andy and Superintendent Presta down there at the JUHSD tent setup. So that was cool. Got to hang out there for a little bit. It was a beautiful day in Pacifica. It was an awesome Fog Fest, and yeah, that's pretty much it. Not much else.
So I attended the JUHSD High School Fair last week. And I met my nephew, his wife, and their son, who is looking at our schools. So really happy about that. There's so much choice there. They can't narrow it down, I think. But and it was just good to see how well represented each school was. And then also I was at the Student Advisory Council meeting last night, really excited with this group, and they're very enthusiastic, as all of our councils are, but really excited for the work that we have ahead of us.
I was also at both of those things at Fog Fest and at the high school fair. And so, just thank you to all the staff that volunteered, helped, support, set up, because I know both events were lots of work. And, in Facebook, you get the reminders, and I think I showed the picture of the ring, but it was our first time as a district being at Fog Fest was, I think, like 2015. So that booth compared to how awesome the booth looked this year, like it's just how far we've come. It was spectacular. So it was nice to see how many parents engaged with the administrators that were out there, saw that we were there and like, oh, I have an 8th grader. So, that's exactly what we want to do. And I'm glad that we're finally, living out that purpose. The other thing I will say is that it has been a rough couple of weeks for our districts with a lot of things that have happened. And I just want to thank all of our mental health professionals here at the school district that have been working overtime and giving so much of themselves to help the people that have been struggling through a variety of different issues. And I will also just say to everyone, I just happened to be in a training for DEI that some of our own DEI people here, I'm there for paid for work, but other people here are also doing the same training. And the first couple of days were just focused on our mental health because of how stressful this work is and just work in the education space in general. Everyone in this room does more and gives more than they have. And it was a good reminder for me that that's not sustainable and that we always say it, we say it to other people, we need to take care of ourselves. But it's just a reminder to take care of ourselves. And especially in America, it's really hard to get help for your mental health, but just to take the time out that you need to take care of yourself and to guard your own space, because sometimes it's hard to find other people that will do that for you. So that's all I have to say. Thank you.
Good words. I too was at the Fog Fest and at the high school fair, both great events. And again, thank you to staff who put on the high school fair and also the Fog Fest booth and tent. It's always fun to see our staff out there working with the public. And it was fun to see Mr. Aarons in particular recruiting parents with babies and strollers, reminding them of us to think about us when, in about 14 years when their kids are old enough to join our schools. That was actually fun to watch. And it's just a good time to be able to just engage with our community and let people know all the good work that we have been doing.
Thank you, Mr. Lee.
First,
I know I was.
Let me go back. Are there any board subcommittee report outs this evening?
All right, thank you. So I'm going to report on all the things everybody else did, but I just want to thank Trustee Salahuddin for your words, because it has been in our school. I was going to say a lot of upbeat things, and I'm still going to say those things. But it's been a really hard month, I'd say. It's been several weeks of people here working 70 hours a week and being pulled in some directions that are really, really good work to do, that are really inspirational and good things, and then some really, really hard things. And so thank you for bringing that up, because it's not something that I was going to bring up. And I think it's really important to acknowledge it and to say that it's kind of hard sometimes, that, I repeatedly tell everybody I know that I love my job, and that's the truth. I really love my job, and it's really hard. And it's really hard for, all of us working and connected with the district at times. It's hard work, but it's good work. So thank you to everybody. And we do all need to remember to take care of ourselves. So with that, Fog Fest was great. I agree. The booth each year just gets better and better, and I'm super proud of us. I'm really grateful to all of the staff and the trustees and the students who volunteered to be there. It's really evident that people are proud to be here. And so I'm grateful for them giving their time. Student advisory, I'm redundant. They're great. It's going to be such a good year. This weekend, Ms. Basuino and Mr. Warden are going to be at Brisbane Day in the Park. So that's another really great community event where they will be there representing our school district for the community on the other side of the freeway. And in a couple of weeks, there's the Bayshore Block Party. So we really are, out in our community to see the families that we serve. And so I thank everybody in advance. And I also want to mention that there's a community dialogue about the impact of racism coming up on the 5th, on Thursday night. And Trustee Rosie Tejada is going to be one of the panelists. So I'm not able to be there. I'm really bummed, but I hope that you are. We've been publicizing it in the community, and I think it's going to be a really good night. So I want to give you a plug for that. Thanks.
Okay, AFT President Monica Casey with the local 1481 report.
Thank you. Good evening. I just have a quick report. One is more connected to California. So I'm a part of the Pre-K-12 Education Issues Committee for CFT. And we just met this weekend in San Jose. So there's several committees, but that is the committee I am on. And our 3 work items are going to be staff shortage crisis. So that's number 1. Employee safety concerns and potential solutions. And the last one is not such a big issue here, but standardized testing. Not having so much standardized testing. So those are the three items. There are many other committees, such as, racial inequality and higher ed, special education. So this is some work that CFT is doing. I also wanted to mention that I'm taking this show on the road tomorrow to all of our sites starting tomorrow. And I'm going to be talking about the benefit changes, healthcare benefit changes, and calendar options. So I will be explaining to all of the members, and then we'll be doing a vote back October 19th and 20th. So you'll be hearing about that. I'm sure there'll be questions. And that's it for today. Thank you.
Thank you. Yes. Presta.
Thank you. I was triggered. Something was triggered in my mind. A reminder that we're going to have our first site board meeting next week on October 12th. We're going to be at Jefferson. Thank you. So just a reminder for staff and, people of the community over at Jefferson. Thank you.
All right, moving on. Item 17, consent agenda. Is there a motion to approve consent?
So moved.
Second. All those in favor? Aye. All right. And Trustee Tejada, is there any public comment this evening?
No.
Okay, great. So we'll move on to item 19A1, board policy update BP 3515, campus security. Associate Superintendent Baswino.
Good evening. So thank you. I just wanted to go over the updated board policy 3515 campus security. Oops, there we go. And just give you some information about the first read, and it was in your weekly recap as well. I'm going to review the law and review our school response protocol. So in the updates, the first part of the update is pretty much just talking about the IT department, and it's related to protections of the district and the infrastructure, the network infrastructure. And the second part is what we'll really be talking about today, which is an update to Senate Bill 906. Which requires employees who are alerted to or observe any threat or perceived threat of a homicidal act to immediately report the threat or perceived threat to law enforcement. So I'm just going to go over that with you all and give you some descriptions of some things. So to start with, the bill was effective January 1st, 2023. It details the evidence that may be considered and role of law enforcement and the LEA in ensuing threat assessment and an investigation. It also, the school officials must report to include any documents or other evidence associated with the perceived threat or the perceived threat. So I just want to go over some definitions. School official is any certificated or classified employee or member of a school district governing board, county board of education, or governing board of a charter school whose official duties bring individuals in contact with pupils. And then the definition of law enforcement is a peace officer, employed or contracted by the school, a police or security department of a local education, or local law enforcement. And then mostly I want to go over reasonable suspicion, right? So reasonable suspicion means someone has articulable facts about a situation that together with rational inferences from those facts would warrant objective suspicion. So for example, that the objective observer would agree that the activity threat is suspicious. So what does that lead us to? So then what is a homicidal threat or perceived threat. So this could be something that's in writing, could be something on social media. It could be a picture or depiction that would see somebody with a firearm or ammunition or shooting or targets, and it's associated with infliction of a physical harm or destruction or death. And then warnings, right? Sometimes you get warnings from parents or other pupils, and then or other individuals. And then how do we move forward with that information? The next is law enforcement's responsibility, and they have the brunt of this responsibility. So when law enforcement is notified, they must follow through with all this investigation. They need to review the Department of Justice firearm registry. They need to search the school site and search for justified to see reasonable suspicion. They need to keep records of any reports. And so we would be working in conjunction with them. These are things that they must do. And the next is, what is the school's responsibility? So this is kind of like mandated reporting, right? So what we're looking at is that it's very similar to reporting child abuse, right? If we have reasonable suspicion for child abuse, we report it. We don't do the investigating. We give it to somebody else to do the investigating. So this is very similar to that. If we understand or perceive that there's a threat, we give that information to law enforcement, and we help support law enforcement to do their investigation, because obviously you want everyone to be safe. And then very similar to child abuse reporting, we're immune from civil liability. So if we report something and then a parent gets upset or is confused about what's happening, we can't be sued for doing what is our legal obligation. So then we get down to the school response protocol. So even though this law is new, our school response protocols have been responding this way for years. We are very fortunate that we are in a county, San Mateo County Office of Ed, that is been forward thinking on these types of events. And so we have their threat assessment, and then we also have our solution matrix. So in 2013, San Mateo County Office of Ed established the Coalition for Safe Schools and Communities, a steering committee. Since then, they have developed the Big Five emergency protocols, suicide prevention toolkit, child sexual abuse protocol, sexually exploited children and human trafficking protocol, the naloxone toolkit, and the threat assessment, which I'm going to outline here for you. The threat assessment is what our district and our county has been using our schools for when we feel that there is a threat to a student or a staff member or even the community or the school itself. And so when those threats occur, we do the same thing that protocol was telling us before, which is we think about it, we look at the information, we determine, we take a reasonable suspicion. We think, okay, is this just a reaction? Is this a student with mental health issues? We think of all these things. We decide whether or not we need to continue with the threat assessment or if we need to go in a different direction. And inside the threat assessment, it is very clear. They ask you all these questions. You have to go through every little step. And so our sites do that. And so as you can see here, you fill out the form, you fill out the level. If during that filling it out, it says, hey, you can do these things, think of this, it's not considered law enforcement would be involved from the very beginning if we thought it was a perceived actual threat. And we want their support because we do want families to be contacted, and we want law enforcement to go to the house and make sure there's no weapons. We want to make sure that things are being properly investigated and that people are getting the correct support that they need. So that's the threat assessment protocol, which we have been following, like I said, for many, many years. And all our staff are trained, all of our administrators are trained on that. And then our solution matrix, which I have linked here, also asks these questions within the solution matrix and reminds people when this violation occurs, you must follow the threat assessment protocol. If this violation occurs, follow the threat assessment protocol, and it lays it all out within the solution matrix. So I am just bringing this to you all so that you understand that that's some changes in that in SB 3515, and it's your first read. So I'm going to open it up to any questions you may have.
Are there any questions or comments, including student trustees?
So I don't have a question. I mean, I know it doesn't really change anything that we're doing per se. I will just say that I have a problem with education law and how it's passed. I feel like they passed too many laws. And the problem that they're trying to solve would be solved if the United States just passed sensible gun legislation. So that's all I have to say.
Any other questions or comments? Okay. Thank you very much for the presentation.
Thank you.
Okay. Item 19B1, Terranova baseball and softball field feasibility study results. Deputy Superintendent Tina Van Rapforst, and looks like our construction bond manager, Stephanie Phillips as well.
Thank you, President Lee. Good evening, everyone. Back in June, you approved an agreement with SSA Landscape Architects to design plans for replacing the baseball and softball fields at Terranova High School. SSA has been meeting along with Principal Carey and Director Phillips with stakeholders, and they're here tonight to share their design with you. Before I let them talk, though, I wanted to frame the conversation. This is not an action item, but a checkpoint in the process to keep you guys in the loop. After the discussion tonight, we plan to continue with the process, which is to instruct SSA to submit their plans to the Department of State Architecture for their approval, and to instruct Ms. Phillips to start identifying a contractor to complete the work. So that would be the next time an action item would be brought before you, is when we have a contractor to recommend to start the construction. And I will go ahead then and introduce Director Phillips and Principal Carey, which you know, and Christian Harris from SSA.
Good evening. We're excited about this. I mean, we've met with a variety of stakeholders and have vetted out two possible plans, but this is probably going to be the one. All of them include a field that has 3 fields on it. We're going to take the softball field that used to be located down below and bring it up to the same level as the baseball field. And then also keep Cooper Field, which is the field that the gentleman that came in and spoke to you about a couple of months ago, also on the same level. With that, we're going to add some amenities that they actually didn't even have down below. Where's the pointer? So currently, this is the building. There's Megan's office right here. Miss Carey's. And the parking lot. So this is the baseball field. This is going to be in the same position as it is now. We're going to add ADA accessibility that will start with a ramp this way and come around along the backside. The football field's up here. With that, there'll be a concession stand and family style bathrooms, which are gender neutral here. Let's see. I'm having a hard time seeing. Yeah, the bullpen. And then bleachers, a press box, I believe more bleachers, and then a batting cage down here and over here, so that both baseball and softball have a batting cage. We're proposing to have the softball field here, and then Cooper Field, which is, I believe, currently here, moves down to this lower area. In addition, we're talking about striping it for soccer, and also including lights so that we can continue to use the field past 5 o'clock during daylight savings time, which I guess is for the soccer program has been a problem. So you want to speak to?
I think I would largely echo what Stephanie said. So what you see here is very similar to the initial plan that we brought forward. However, after meeting with various stakeholder groups, we've refined it and started really showing how big is big. We want to make sure that all our pathways do meet the ADA accessibility guidelines. We want to make sure we have equal amenities for both softball and for baseball, which we think that we have largely done there. We have included various other amenities that we didn't necessarily see in the first iteration. And some of those would be additional storage to make sure that there's enough storage for the use. We are also going to look for other opportunities to put storage on the opposite side of the field, so there's not such a long wait to travel. We've considered down the details of stormwater management, how we're going to handle that to make sure that we're being responsible stewards as we design this particular facility. And we look at scoreboards and all the amenities that you would expect to see in a facility like this. So we think at this point that we have the vast majority of the needs addressed, but there's probably another layer of tweaking that is possible as we continue to meet with stakeholders. But I think that largely this is the design that you will see moving forward. So as we get into the next stages after conceptual design, we move into design development, and that's where some of those small tweaks would happen as we get some of our other consultants on board to develop the construction document set. So the next steps would be to move forward with those construction documents, get all the other players involved, whether it's electrical consultants, civil engineers, to make sure that we're appropriately designing this facility. Once we have the plans in place, we would submit to the Division of the State Architect. Typically, there's about a 6-week turnaround for that first submittal, and we would address their comments. Might take another month or so, depending on the level of comment after that. We resubmit to what's considered back check, and that's usually done in about 3 weeks, at which point we would have a set to bring back to the trustees, ready to go out to bid. Construction would likely begin hopefully next summer once school's out, so we can hit the ground running and get this facility developed.
We had a meeting last week and we discussed timing and even which I didn't discuss with you, but it holds true with what we were just talking about. So the idea is to start construction middle of June. At the very latest, if we make it, well, when we make it through playoffs, playoffs will run through beginning of June. So that would allow us to run through playoffs, use the field, and then start construction. And in which case, and we should be through the procurement process and ready to go at that point as well. Do you want to add anything? Are you sure? Okay.
Other than thank you for having.
Opening up to the board for comments, questions, including student trustees.
How long are these fields supposed to last if, with proper upkeep, and what is the upkeep like on those?
So like every facility, there's maintenance involved.
Mhm.
Now you're trading maintenance in terms of irrigating and mowing and fertilizing, but there is routine grooming that happens on these fields. And there's infill material that needs to get resituated to make sure it's evenly distributed. You can expect a lifespan of 12 to 15 years for the initial carpet, as they call it. However, the infrastructure underneath, which would be the large part of this first effort, should last multiple iterations of that carpet. So 12 or 15 years, you replace that, the drainage, the grading should all remain in place. And then it's just an issue of replacing the synthetic turf itself.
And that maintenance contract's done by the installing contractor typically?
There's a couple different ways you can do it. So the installing contractor is responsible usually for a very short period of time thereafterwards. However, the district can purchase maintenance agreements. So we can either train their own staff to do that, or they can purchase an agreement for the turf manufacturer to come and make it.
Well, and what we've done with, for instance, for the Terranova football field, I included, I believe it was like an 8-year maintenance agreement as part of the procurement, so that we were locked in and that was taken care of for the next 8 years.
Yeah.
I'm going to seek to do the same. I think it's in our best interests.
Yeah, I think initially for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah. Cool. Thank you.
What's the estimated length of construction?
We're probably, typically they can try to get something like a football field done in summer. This one, given the large size of it, could drag into the school year because I think we're about 200,000 square feet. Typical football field and facility is 8,000 square feet. So just the raw size and scale of it is 2.5 times larger. So that said, once mobilization occurs, you have contractors out there, it doesn't take 2.5 times as long. But I would anticipate some encroachment to the school year, but 5 months.
Is that also weather pending though? I mean, does installation get held up with weather? I know we had a pretty bad winter last year, so.
It could, and that's part of the goal of starting in June, is so they can get the work and everything stabilized underneath. So by the time they're doing, most of the work's done by the time the wet weather occurs. And so at that point, they're installing amenities such as the dugout, and the restroom concession building.
Gotcha.
Thanks. I have a question. So I just wanted to confirm, because I'm not super sporty. The 2 diamonds on these sides are baseball diamonds, and that's a softball diamond?
So
opposite.
The opposite.
Yeah.
Opposite.
Yeah.
That's the baseball, and these 2 are softball? Okay. Thank you.
And I would add the lower right-hand corner, and that's some of the refinement that may occur, is that as we meet with additional stakeholder groups, there is an opportunity for that infield to grow larger to meet a different.
Okay. Thanks.
Who are the stakeholder groups that you've been meeting with?
We have met with Purpose, baseball, softball. We've met with PTO president, football president.
Athletic director, and the band director who uses that field. The immediate neighbors were contacted and invited to come to we had a meeting at Terranova 2 weeks ago, last week.
And didn't you let them know that about the lighting?
Yes.
Yeah. In case they had concerns about the lighting. So
Would that be available for, say, like local soccer clubs or something like that? Is it something that local soccer clubs or local clubs can utilize the space?
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. I mean, it's, just like at Oceana, we have MOUs.
Yeah.
Yes.
Okay.
That's what I was going to add, is that while not directly in the stakeholder meetings that you held, Director Phillips has also talked to some of the youth organizations in town, including some of the soccer organizations.
Yes, and they're very excited.
Yeah, fields are at a premium for sure.
Any other comments or questions? Any other thoughts?
I have questions about usage. Somebody mentioned that community identification. Kumar, we asked about Little League fields, and I think the biggest concern was that they have different
Size.
Size needs. Have we addressed that?
Yes. So that's a pony league. And which is kind of a junior league in between
High school and middle.
yeah. And so the field would be, which is what they're using it now called Cooper, is would be down in the corner on the bottom there. And it meets his requirements.
That would be the pony league.
That would be the pony league.
And I also have a question about, so you have a sample of soccer striping here. Is that exactly what you're going to use? You have ideas for different uses?
Different layout.
This is proposed pretty much as we're expecting it to move forward. Yeah.
Prefer to keep the soccer field, the way it is in the football league, so it's not the infield, if that's.
Okay. It's an 11 on 11 field?
Yeah.
And I would add that we did look at multiple options with soccer fields, trying to get that sized correctly. So that does mean we could do two smaller fields that would fit. However, this does meet what's what I'm looking for, but this is the size you need. Yeah. So.
So how many RFPs would be going out for? Is there someone who's going to handle like the general picture and then someone else who handles like the design and the first?
Well, typically, I've had one contractor do everything. The football fields, when I did the Terra Nova and Jeff, we used a procurement process that's like a piggyback contract. So it's an agreed to amount that these companies have basically negotiated with the state. And it allows us to kind of streamline the bidding process because it is a negotiated amount. And I'm hoping to do that route so that we can streamline this and not, streamline it. Yeah. And then, I mean, we do have some issues out there with drainage. So, I don't know if, I mean, I guess there's a couple of things going on. One is that we also have some electrical, and I don't know if Field Turf, which is one of the companies that provides the artificial turf, that they do lighting, or I would have to go out for electrical contract on that, and maybe you can answer that.
So, I can't answer that directly because Field Turf would have to say. So Stephanie's referring to a cooperative purchasing agreement, which districts and states use so we can work with the low bid laws, or not the low bid, basically the lowest qualified bidder typically has to be awarded the contract. Since these have previously been approved by the state, we can pick a contractor that knows how to do these fields, which is critical for these fields. There's a number of contractors out there who might meet basic requirements, but the tolerances on these are so small. There's a small handful that can really do this field well. Cooperative purchasing allows us to do that. Under that cooperative purchasing license, there is a number of things that they can do. I don't know specifically about the lighting, so that's something that we need to explore. There's a potential that could be a separate contract, but there's also potential that could all be handled.
Thank you. All right, so I guess just looking for just guidance whether we should continue the work. If that's correct, Ms. Van Ramport.
Yep, just making sure that we're checking in and letting you know where we're at in the process and see if we have any concerns or things that you want to contribute to the conversation.
Okay. Are we generally good?
Yeah, no concerns.
No, thank you for the work. I'm excited to see the new field.
Yeah. My only concern is my excitement.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.
Got to do it again.
All right. Item 20.
At the end of the year, we're gonna compile a video of everything we said.
That'll be under consideration for future agenda items. Anything for the item 20? All right, we will actually be adjourning back to closed session. So is there a motion to adjourn?
Motion to adjourn back to closed.
I second.
All those in favor?
Aye.
8:16 closing open session.
Okay.